Don't say salmon berries. Salmon. Yeah, that's why I wanted to come here. Yeah. Because he's enjoying himself now, finally. The meaning of life. The meaning of life is feeling joy. The meaning of life is feeling joy when you wish all beings, dogs, deer, humans, fish, birds, and worms, and all other living cells in simple and complex systems, happiness, joy, and health. The meaning of life is feeling joy when you are giving love, health, and help to all living beings so that they can be empowered, that they can heal themselves, and that they in turn will be able to help themselves and be able to help others become able to help themselves. The meaning of life is feeling joy when being altruistic. The meaning of life is feeling joy when you realize that altruism and egoism merge into one.
Do we go on where we left off yesterday, or would you like to start something new?
Oh, what do you...
Well, I thought, there was a point that wasn't entirely clear where, what we were discussing yesterday, which is that we rather accepted that, that security, psychological security was wrong, was the illusion. But in general, I don't think we made it very clear why it is a delusion. You see, most people feel that psychological security is a real thing and quite necessary, and when it's disturbed, or when a person is frightened or sorrowful, or even so disturbed that he might be psychologically disturbed and require treatment, he feels that psychological security is necessary before he can even begin to do anything, you see.
Right.
And I think that it isn't at all clear why one should say that it's really not as important as physical security.
Yes. No, I think we made it fairly clear, and let's go into it.
Yes.
Is there really psychological security at all?
Well, I don't think we discussed that fully last time.
Of course, nobody accepts that.
Mm-hmm.
But we are inquiring into it. We are going into the problem of it.
But we said something even deeper, I think, yesterday, and that is that, at least as I was summarizing for myself, and that is that we felt, correct me if you think I'm wrong here, that the conditioning and conditioning sets the stage for the importance of psychological security, and that in turn creates insecurity. I mean, it's the conditioning that creates the psychological security as a focus. Well, would you agree with that?
I think we too mean something different.
Yeah, well, what do you mean?
First of all, sir, we take it for granted that there is psychological security.
Okay, all right. Well, we think that we can get it.
We feel that there is.
Right. That's right.
Well, yes, I think that if you told somebody who was feeling very disturbed mentally that there's no psychological security, he would just feel a lot worse. I mean,
of course.
Right.
I mean, we are talking of fairly sane, rational people.
Okay.
We are questioning whether there is any psychological security at all, permanency, stability, a sense of well-founded, deep-rooted existence psychologically.
Maybe if we could say more then, what would be psychological security?
I mean, after all, say, I believe in something.
And that gives me...
It may be the most foolish belief,
Right.
a neurotic belief. I believe in it.
Right. And
And that gives you tremendous sense of existence, living, and vitality and stability.
I think you could think of two examples. One is if I could really believe that after dying I would go to heaven and be quite sure of it, then I could be very secure inwardly, no matter what happened.
that would make you feel good.
Well, I'd say I don't really have to worry because it's all a temporary trouble, and I'm pretty sure that in time it's all going to be very good. You see?
Right.
That's the whole Asiatic
yeah,
attitude,
yeah.
more or less.
Right.
Or if I think I'm a communist, I say in time communism is going to solve everything, and we're going through a lot of troubles now, but you know it's all going to be worthwhile and it'll work out, and in the end it'll be all right.
Right. Right.
If I could be sure of that, then I'd say I feel very good, secure inside, even if conditions are hard.
Okay. All right.
So we are questioning, though one has these strong beliefs which gives them a sense of security, permanency, whether there is such in reality.
You mean
Actuality.
it's not possible.
I mean,
The
is it
question
possible?
is it possible?
Is it possible?
Right.
I may believe in God, and that gives me tremendous sense of
Right.
impermanency of this world, but at least there is permanency somewhere else.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Well-
David, I want to ask David something. Do you think that, for instance, take a scientist, a guy who's going to his laboratory every day, or take a doctor, he's getting security
Well,
from going to, I mean, he takes security from the very routinization of his life.
From his knowledge.
Yes, from his knowledge. If he keeps doing this, he feels, in the scientist, what does he get security?
Well,
out
he
of?
may believe he is learning the permanent laws of nature, you know, and really getting something that means something.
Yeah.
And also getting a position in society and being sure of his being well known and respected and financially secure.
He believes that these things will give him the thing, the goal. The mother believes that the child will give her security, right?
So don't you psychologically have security?
Yeah. Okay.
Faith.
Right. That's a good point. I get a security out of my knowledge, out of my routine, out of my patients, out of seeing my patients, out of my position.
But there's conflict in that, because if I think it over a little bit, I doubt it. As I question it, I say it doesn't look all that secure, right? Anything may happen. I mean, I say there may be a war, there may be a depression, there may be a flood.
Right. Right.
There might be same people all of a sudden in the world.
You think there's a chance?
So I say that then there's conflict and confusion in my security because I'm not sure about it.
You're not sure about it.
But if I had an absolute belief that in God and heaven,
This is so obvious.
It's obvious. I agree with you. It's obvious, but I think it has to be. In other words, it has to be really felt through.
No, but you,
Right.
Dr. Shainberg,
I'm willing. Yeah.
you're the victim.
I'll be the victim.
For the moment.
Okay.
Don't you have strong belief?
Right. Well, I wouldn't say.
Don't you have a sense of permanency somewhere inside you?
I think I do.
Psychologically?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I have a sense of permanency about my intention.
Intention,
I mean, you know,
Your
about my
knowledge.
work, my knowledge, my
status.
my status, the continuity of my interest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In
Yes,
other words,
yes,
that
yes.
there's a sense of security in the feeling that I can help someone.
Yes.
And I can do my work. Okay?
Yes.
So, I mean,
That gives you security.
yeah, there's a certain
Psychological.
something about it that's secure. I don't feel, what am I saying when I say security? I'm saying that I won't be lonely.
No, feeling secure that you have something that is imperishable.
Which means, but no, I don't feel it that way. I feel it more in the sense of, what is going to happen in time? Am I going to have to depend on, what is my time going to be? Am I going to be lonely? Is it going to be empty?
No,
Isn't
sir,
that security?
I mean, as Dr. Bohm pointed out, if one has a strong belief in reincarnation, as the Holy Asiatic world has, then it doesn't matter what happens. In the next life, you have a better chance. You might be miserable this life, but next life you will be happier. So that gives you a great sense of, well, this is unimportant, but that is important.
Right, right.
And that gives me a sense of great comfort, great sense, as though I was, well, this is a transient world anyhow,
Right.
and eventually I'll get there something permanent. This is human.
This is in the Asiatic world, but I think in the Western world you don't have that.
Oh, yes, you
particular-
have it.
You have a different focus.
Of
Well,
course.
but it's different. But you always had the search for security. I mean, either you
Right, right. But what do you think security is? I mean, what, for instance, you became a scientist. You went to the laboratory. You pick
I
up
never
the
went.
books all the time, right? You never
well-
went to the laboratory, but I mean, you've had your own laboratory. What the hell have you called security?
Security,
Yeah. I mean, what does he call his security? His
having
knowledge?
having something to which you can cling to and which is not perishable. It may perish eventually, but at the time, for the time being, it is there to hold on.
You can feel that it's permanent. You see, like somebody in the past, people used to accumulate gold because gold is the symbol